You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
It's Wednesday night, time for the Paranormal Experience radio show with host Kat Hobson. Kick back, relax, and get ready to learn. Welcome to the show. Now, here's Kat.
Good evening and welcome to Paranormal Experience Radio. I am Kat Hobson, your host, and you are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I am so excited to be able to welcome someone back with me who is dear to my heart. He is a man who has done a brilliant job, I think, at life. But as someone else who has also done so, I am going to offer my condolences and my respect to the entire Bush family. And I just have to say that I can't imagine what they're going through. And I appreciate them. So first, I am going to move into this, and I am going to say that my guest tonight is a brilliant author. He is just a wonderful man. He has written 3 books thus far. He is the editor of the Paranormal Chronicles on Facebook and the magazine, the digital magazine. And he has also started a new venture that I am very proud of him for. I just can't imagine what else he's going to do next. His books are A Most Haunted House. He is also the author of Ghost Sex, The Violation. And now we have Haunted, The Horror of Havershamford. Is that correct?
You did so well. It's really hard. It's haunted. It's hard. No one can get it. It's hard because it's a Welsh Pembrokeshire name. And it's Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest. But you gave it an amazing go. There's places I couldn't say in America, like Roanoke. Is it Roanoke?
It is Roanoke.
Oh, there you go. I got it right. There you go.
And it is just an absolute tough thing for anyone to say. I live in places that are, like Sylacauga is where Jim Nabors was from. And there's so much stuff that's in areas that were Native American homelands, homesteads and such. And it's just one thing after the other with that. There's so many odd things. But, I know that people are so surprised to hear you being so very, very English accent. And I know that that's one of the things that every time you're on the show, people are just ecstatic about. So that's fun. And I appreciate you staying up to be on with me. I know it's late there. And you're just brilliant. Brilliant, Gavin. Thank you.
Kat, thank you. I can't tell you enough how amazing you are. You've been so supportive to me since day one, since the very first time I ever guested on the show. It was phenomenal. And your community, your followers, they're so supportive as well. And a lot of them, they found me and they support the Paranormal Chronicles and my books. And some of us are friends like Denise. Hello, Denise. I can see you in the chat room. And hello, Brenda. And yes, I have a Welsh accent or a Pembrokeshire accent. And where I live in Wales, they speak a language called Welsh. But I'm in a part called Little England. So people down here have got like less of a Welsh accent, if that makes sense. It's kind of a bit more of an English twang. But I'm a mongrel. I was born in England. My father is Welsh. I've lived in Wales my entire life, and my mother was from Ireland. So I am a mongrel.
Well, there's nothing wrong with mongrels. Oftentimes, pedigrees have deficits. So, I like you. I
Oh,
like you
Kat,
just
you're
the way
amazing.
you are.
I have missed you so much. And we have little chats, and you were so supportive. You were so supportive of my new book, Haunted Horror of Haverford. And can I just say, the video package I saw today was the most awesome thing I've ever seen. That's awesome. You put these little video packages together for your guests. I was like, wow, I'm getting excited now. And it's always a pleasure. It's 1:06 a.m. here in Pembrokeshire, West Wales. But it's worth it just to talk to you, because every time we have a good time, and there's always a wake then of very positive feedback for me. And every time I do your show, great things happen. People get in touch with me, people follow the stuff. And as a thank you to you and all your listeners, okay, people come on here and they try and sell you stuff. I want to give something to everybody, okay? And you mentioned it in the intro. And I have created a brand new e-magazine. It's an electronic magazine, so it's good for the environment. It's called the Paranormal Chronicles magazine, okay? It is 125 free pages. There's no subscription, no download. You don't have to sign up. You literally go to the link, which I'll put in the chat room now, and you can just go there. And there's some of the best writers in the world have contributed to this magazine. And there's a section called Essential Listening, which is the very best podcast and radio hosts in the world. And you're in there. Your beautiful face is peering out of that page. And
Thank you.
And that's great. So there's so much. There's some really cool articles on haunted chairs, which was a fascinating subject about how residual energies can be kept in chairs. I never thought about stuff like this. Life after death. There's loads about the ghost sex, spectrophilia, the science of spectrophilia, if you're into that kind of things. There's amazing article on which really blew my mind. And these things are so well written as well. These are by proper authors. And it was, is Bigfoot an alien? And this guy presented this essay on what if Bigfoot is an alien probe? Brenda Holmes in chat rooms, ghost sex? What? Yes.
I can't believe she missed that, but I don't know that she was following the show at that point. And I know that she is going to be going and getting that book, which is available. So you may have to do Amazon.uk, but it's available. And you need to check it out, because I'm going to tell you, when we did that interview, I was trying to figure out, because it wasn't my own network then, and I was trying to figure out how in the world to do this interview and keep it PG. And I was really supposed to be trying to keep it G. And we did it from when I was in New York, so that was fun. We got to do live from New York. It's Paranormal Experienced, and you were brilliant. You helped me get through that. And because I was like, we're not going to be very specific what was happening.
It was hard because
it was hard.
It wasn't what people got to remember about ghost sex. And before I answer that, okay, one of the people in the chat room, Denise, how do you contribute to the Paranormal Chronicles magazine? Okay, anyone can. It's there for everybody. Okay. So head over to the paranormalchronicles.com, and on the left it says magazine. Click on that, and then you've got all the links. Contact me, and if you've got an article or something you want to promote, just get in touch with me, because I want to offer a platform like Kat is doing with me, and so many people do, for people to talk about their research, their experience, their encounters, whether they're skeptics or believers. If all of us work together, we're going to get somewhere. So for the magazine, just go to the paranormalchronicles.com/magazine, or just go to theparanormalchronicles.com, and on the left it says magazine, or just get in touch with me. Just find me on Facebook or follow the Paranormal Chronicles. But me and Kat, we had to work out how to broach a very R-rated show without patronizing the listeners by being too PG, and making it all very vague. And it was really hard, but you led the interview so well. And when we're dealing with a woman in Wales, the best example for me to say to everyone is, Brenda, it's called Ghost Sex to Violation. It's on Amazon, or just head over to theparanormalchronicles.com. There's excerpts of it and whatnot there. And yes, ghosts do want to have sex with us. And the most similar case for you would be the Doris Biver case, which was in Southern California, which is the Entity, which was the movie with Barbara Hershey. And I was not prepared to deal with this. And I had to bring a psychologist in with me, because this woman claimed not only was a ghost having sex with her, like forceful sex with her, but also a cat kind of helped drive the theory forward. In fact, there was also incubus. Is it incubus? Incubus is man, succubus is woman, yeah?
Yes, that's
and it was
correct. Yes.
And cat kind of like opened this whole new world, and we were like, oh my God. So this woman, there was a ghost that was just, I'm not saying it's right at all, but in kind of the spectrum of the severity, there was a ghost that was just having sex with her while she was sleeping. And then there was something that was defiling and violating it. And those bits were exceptionally difficult to write. A lot of people who read it, they get that far and then they've got to stop.
It's very graphic and disturbing, but that's really the only way that she could present with a full understanding of what she was going through.
Exactly. Like with my style of writing, I don't write a narrative as in like a fictional narrative. It's not like, and Kat got in her car and Kat did this. No, what I do is I interview people and I keep asking the same questions, cross-examining. If there's more than one person involved, I'll interview them together and separate until we get to the nuts and bolts, to the nitty-gritty of the story. And then I present my books as interviews. So my subjects talk as they talk. I always bookend each chapter with some analysis or some points to consider or some themes or some ideas like that. And I present that as I write. But the interviews are in their words. So a lot of people, this lady is what we call working class, what you'd call blue collar. And she's just a hardworking mum. And, she works, in a minimum wage job. She's got an older son. She lives in a house that we call a council house, which is, I think, would be welfare for you, like where you are granted public housing. So this woman, amazing, such a kind, genuine woman. And whatever was happening to her, she believed was real. And the language she used, I didn't want her using clinical terms if that's not how she talked. Now, people have certain ways of describing their sex life, parts of her anatomy, and I wanted her to describe it as if she was talking to a boyfriend or her best friend. When girls are chatting about all the naughty, sexy stuff, I wanted her to talk as if she was talking. I didn't want her using clinical terms, and because I just felt that wouldn't translate well. So a lot of people were just shocked by how brutal and how graphic it was. And I had so many death threats from fundamental Christian groups for writing this book because it's so. Yeah,
I don't understand death threats, but I could see that people would have been upset.
Yeah, fair enough. The thing is that the book is called Ghost Sex, the Violation. So the first chapter says this book is about ghosts, the paranormal, and sex, two of the most controversial subjects you'll ever discuss.
Yeah, you kind of grabbed that bull by the horns, didn't you?
So if you've picked this book up called Ghost Sex, the Violation, I'm not entirely sure what you're expecting, because it's not erotica. It's not a romance novel. I would be very surprised if anyone got their jollies off it, because it's severe violation. And
well, in all fairness, Amazon tried to make you listed as porn.
Yeah, and they succeeded. Is currently listed under erotica. And I campaigned against this. And people had complained about the book. A localized element they just didn't agree with it. So they campaigned to Amazon. And it got moved into erotica. So I wrote to Amazon and said, please, can you explain how rape and violation is erotic? And they never got back to me, and they just
Go
ignored the
figure.
appeal. Yeah.